to, you just be Luke.
Yeah, Luke from Poached and Flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Is that all good?
I don't know a little bit. So.
Yeah. Should be alright.
Cool. Perfect. Well.
Here we are.
Here we are. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We have a very, very, very special guest. I'd like to
I don't know about
think
special, but yeah. Okay.
as special as we could get and afford at this current moment of time.
First guest.
And we agreed to call you Luke from Poached. So
Yeah, that's it.
Luke from Poached, the owner, the legend,
Yeah.
the myth
That's it.
of East Dulwich. And then some actually, which we're going to get to. So Luke, tell us about Poached.
So, Poached is a business that I started 5 years ago off the back of having I was working with my dad and he had his own business, so I decided I wanted to do a similar have my own business but in a different industry.
What was Dad's business?
Dad's business was shoe repairing and locksmithing, so that's my background. From that, I found an empty unit. Mm-hmm. I decided to kit it out, put a kitchen in there. Everyone told me I was sort of mad from doing it because it was a small unit, very small unit, as Poached Beckenham is today. Mm-hmm. Recruited a chef to help me design the menu and open up on day one without having one staff member and all my family helping me. And we basically just taught ourselves on the job what to do. Learned the hard way, but 3 months in, started recruiting staff, getting people on board, and slowly built up Poached. And now today it's 2 going into 3 stores, and we have I think 20 odd staff at the minute. So yeah, we're slowly
How
growing.
How long ago was that?
The second shop was 3 years ago now, and the third shop is coming up we're opening up in about 4 weeks time. So yeah.
So in times 3 years?
Yeah.
Why branch? So
Why
the
branch?
background was...
My mum and auntie, my auntie's got a hair salon over in Wandsworth. There's a few brunch places there. Many of you know famous places called Milk Cafe,
Mm-hmm.
there's Mud Cafe and a few other places around there, and we really liked what they was doing. So I basically sort of took influence from those and decided, I went with my mum and auntie, really enjoyed it there, so decided to open one in Beckenham. I thought there was a missing market.
That's fair. So we have the locksmiths, we have hairdressers and a brunch place, so the family area's covered.
That's it, family area.
Who's starting a next business? What would that be?
I don't know, probably me, some sort of random business. Yeah, my brain's constantly ticking, so.
So this is something that I want to kind of expand on, because I think the brand, the company's amazing, your products are delicious, but it's always interesting to know the person behind it, and obviously you have that entrepreneurial mindset.
I do, yeah. My mind never switches off.
Have you ever had a normal job at 9 to 5?
Normal job? No, never.
No.
So, I worked with my dad for 4 years doing shoe repairing and locksmithing, but I've never had a boss as such because it's working with family. So I don't think I could ever. I don't like taking instruction, basically. So I like doing my own thing.
And how is that transition from doing pretty much everything family-based yourself / with the help of your family to actually starting getting people?
Tough, very tough at first, not knowing what to do, didn't know how to recruit staff, didn't know how to deal with staff. So the nightmares we had at the beginning were, honestly, the nightmares that we had with staff was next level.
You just see the
basically,
trauma.
I lost complete control. Trying sort of my ways of teaching people obviously didn't work. People used to turn up late. I didn't know how to deal with this because we're open 7 days a week. I was working 7 days a week myself, so it used to stress me out a lot. So I slowly sort of introduced a management structure where managers would have to deal with the staff rather than me, because that wasn't my forte.
Because you were losing it.
Yeah, I was losing it. Yeah, literally.
So this is the interesting thing, because there are certain similarities between yourself and Tarek. In terms of that initial thing, and I think there is an initial period when you start a business and you don't straight away have millions, but you actually do a lot of this yourself, right?
You have to at first.
Was there a person? Was it a self-regulating moment that you were like, okay, I'm about to lose it, I need to get people on board, or was it somebody just sitting you down, be like, look?
No, it was all me. It was all me. I knew I had to. Yeah. Luckily, when we first opened, we did get busy from the day off, basically, but that had its pros and its cons because it was majorly busy and no one knew what they were doing. So that was a problem. So I knew I had to recruit staff and get people involved in the business, and that has helped the business grow to what it is today.
So the Luke manager of the first 3 people that came on board, and the Luke manager of those 30 that you have right now, what's the difference between the 2 Lukes?
What's the difference? That's a good question. So I suppose
none. Still killing it. Still killing it.
Yeah. How was it? So the first 3 people, I used to be very lenient with my staff. The first, they'll tell me, oh, I'm not coming in the next day, and I'll be like, okay, fair enough, and I used to go and cover the shifts myself. Then it gets to the stage where you're like, hold on, I need to be a bit more strict here. So now I am a lot more strict with the way I run the business, but you have to be to sort of
strict
to have it working correctly, basically.
Would you do anything differently now, 3 years on?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I was like, well, how long do you have?
What if I started the whole business?
Exactly. If you were saying, we're going bankrupt, we're rewriting the story of Poached.
I would probably get rid of. This is very controversial. I'll probably get rid of the food because because
interesting.
Although the food's great, there's he wants to keep in there. Yeah, although the food's great, that's where all my problems come from. All the chef. Those of you who have businesses and know about chefs will know that chefs are can be very temperamental, and without a chef, your business doesn't run as such. So, and it's not really my area of expertise. I don't enjoy cooking,
so why is that side so difficult? Is it because of people? Is it a turnover? Is it
generally chefs tend to move around anyway. Chefs like to do things their own way, and when as a company you have your own way of doing things and you need them done that exact way to control the product, and if chefs aren't doing that, that can really affect your business, and that's essentially
so
why.
what you're trying to say is that you're scaring people off with how controlling. So the
Maybe,
chefs are not a problem,
yeah.
it's you. That's great.
Potentially, yeah. Who knows?
So you mentioned that the first chef you ever hired created a menu, and the menu still is the same.
Menu still, I would say 60 or 70% the same. That chef is George. I still speak to him now.
Hi George.
Yeah, that's George. I speak to him now. He's very creative chef, but he moved to Spain 2 years ago. So when he first moved, it was a bit like, oh no, what do we do now?
Yeah.
But we've sort of adapted and learned how to sort of manage without him and such. Yeah, but yeah, he did help out massive amounts when we first opened. He was our saviour.
So this is the question: are we? Thank you. Our attractive assistant.
There we are.
Are we ever going to change the menu? Are you ever going to change the menu?
Yes. So our new site, Bromley site, will be run without food. So we won't have a kitchen. There'll still be food to take away, i.e. sandwiches and
really
simple pretzel bun. No, I need to get away from it. And then I think as I get older, I'm more into my health. I want to change the menu and have more healthy options. And I feel like the world is changing. Everyone's becoming healthier. Everyone's going gym more, as you know, because you've got High Vibe and the coffee shop connected to it. And I do think that is the way forward. Everyone's caring about their nutrition. And our menu is, some of it is healthy, some of it is definitely not.
Delicious.
So yeah.
We're a huge fan, so we're just around the corner from you guys, and definitely whenever there is a food time, we're going straight to
I know,
Poached.
that's it. I always see you in there. So that's it.
Well, okay, so what is next? Because what is amazing about the story of Poached, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm going to throw some numbers now. We're on to site 5 soon?
No, so Poached is on to site 3.
Right.
We have another coffee brand called Flow Coffee, which concentrates only on specialty coffee, and that we have 2 sites there and 3 sites of Poached.
Gotcha.
Flow Coffee is a London-based coffee sort of site, so.
So, leaving the coffee aside, let's go back to Poached. How are we going to change it? What's next for Poached?
What's next for Poached? Don't know as of yet. I think I'm at a stage where I'm just winging it. I've opened 3 shops in 1 year, so I'm just concentrating on managing the business and making sure it's running at the minute before we make any more changes. But I would say more coffee focused going forward. Yeah, 100%.
Will we ever merge a Flow Poached, a Poached Flow?
Potentially, maybe. But Flow's a sort of a side business. I've done that with business partners, so Poached is my baby, so I don't really want to merge it at this stage. But you never know. Never say never. So we'll see.
So outside being looked from Poached, what is Luke like in his personal life?
What do I do in my personal life? So
if you still have any
pretty boring
hours
life,
in the
really.
week.
When I'm stressed, I don't do much. To be honest, I go gym 4, 5, 6 times a week.
4, 5, 6 times a week.
Yeah, if I've got
time,
if I'm not busy, I try and get there.
That's everyone who's listening just feeling absolutely rubbish about themselves and their fitness routine.
I've learned from the best, from Tarek. See.
Oh, that's just genes. That's just genetics. Please don't believe in that.
I like to go. I like to go out on the weekends still. Saturday nights is my night.
Where would you go?
Where do I go out?
Where can we find Luke?
You used to find me in Patrick's in Beckenham every Saturday. Now, as I'm growing up, I'm sort of more going out for meals and whatever else. Right. Saturday's my release night, I suppose. Sunday's my day off from all the shops. If any of the staff call me on a Sunday, I'm never happy, as they probably tell you. I probably ignore their messages, but yeah, that's my release day. That's a nice chill. One. Recently getting into, I suppose, more cardio sort of based stuff as well. Doing a lot of running, cycling. So yeah, that's my life. Pretty boring.
Does not sound boring in any form. I'm still amazed by the routine. But I suppose this is a good question. It's a valid question for anyone who's successful but busy but stressed and has a lot of responsibilities.
Gym. That's it. 100% gym.
That's your. Yeah. See, I didn't even have to finish the question.
That's always been my stress relief. I have to go every day. It keeps me focused. If I don't go gym, then I become more lazy, unproductive. So I think it's important for everyone to have some sort of gym routine in there.
And say things gone out of hand, because we all have those days. Everything went wrong.
Of course. It's fine to have the odd day off. That's absolutely fine. Of course, you can have the odd week off, but as a general rule, try and go, as you probably know yourself. So
even put me to shame. I'm honest with you, but I'm just gonna pretend I do exactly the same thing. What I suppose the question is as well. If you're willing to share that, it's fine. If not, we're gonna have to edit it. What was the toughest day you've had so far at work?
Oh God, toughest ever day. There's a few. I've had a few tough days. I think.
Give me the one that instantly
comes to my head was when I went from having just poached Beckenham to going over to poached Dulwich. I was doing all the I was still sort of half managing the shop. But then I was also doing the building work to Poached Dulwich. Okay. We had a week to open, and I think a full-time chef quit in Beckenham, I think a week before opening. So I was sitting there in Dulwich.
Those chefs!
We had our release date, which was 21st of September, and it was like probably the 14th, 15th. And the shop was hardly finished, had a lot more work to do. I had probably 5 out of 8 staff that I needed. And then someone quit in Beckenham, so I was like, what do I actually do? And I think I just sat there thinking, what have I done? What did I do? I think I probably got my family to help out, got them to work shifts, got staff to work extra shifts, and probably used agency staff. But you learn a lot. From getting thrown in the deep end like that, you definitely learn a lot, 100%. But nothing's changed since then. I still have the same issues now. So
that's true.
I've just learned to deal with it mentally and be like, okay, fair enough, that's what happens.
So I'm assuming that there's a lot of situations right now, 3 years on, that don't stress you in the same way as 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Or do they? This is a question.
They don't stress me as they did, but we have that problem now on a bigger scale. So we can, now having 4 sites going into 5, if someone calls in sick and the manager's not in that day, it's a case of, what do? I have to either make a decision. Do I go in myself and then I take my eye off what I'm meant to be doing, the day-to-day run-ins of all the other businesses, or do I simply close that section of the business, i.e. it could be the kitchen if a chef's called in sick. So yeah, it's just now I have to just make decisions as they come in. So.
Do you allow anyone to interfere with those decisions? Or I mean, do you have, we know sadly I'll have to disappoint you guys, we have a partner. Are they helping you with those decisions, or is it still very much so you taking that responsibility? I
only have a partner for Flow. So we're a Flow coffee, that we're just concentrating on coffee there. So that can be run without, Poached is the problem where we have kitchens and sort of front of house staff, and it's,
right.
Front of house stuff, we find it easier to get cover because it's not I'm not saying it's a skilled role, but people can come in and easily cover that kitchen. You have to learn the menu. You have to go through 2 weeks of learning how to do that. And if someone lets you down, then it's a big struggle. It is a really big struggle. So yeah, it's just me making the decisions. But we've got obviously a managers who makes the decisions before me. It only gets passed on to me when it's a big problem now. So Amy's the current manager for Poached. She's doing really well.
And how actually are you dealing with that? Because there's this well-known thing when you're at the CEO level is that especially you now with the managers that are working for you, you don't really tend to deal with the problems that are easy, right? You only get the worst of the worst.
Yeah, no, that's true. So last 6 months, Amy's taken over. She's become area manager of Poached, so she is managing both shops. She's doing a great job. Sometimes when there say little issues, she will go and deal with. Right. But when loads of stuff happens at once and it's out of her control, she might be covering a shift in one of the shops, then I have to get involved. So I do generally just try and stick to the big problems, but I do still have to get involved sometimes with the little problems. But
so if we had Amy with us in here, what would she say about you as a boss?
Oh, I don't know. You have to ask her.
We're going to probably have to go to Poached and ask Amy.
No, do you know, next interview has to be Amy. So I don't know.
So you come with a box of tissues.
Yeah, probably won't be good, but that's it. No, we get on well, so I think it's all good. So. Yeah.
What was it easy for you to trust her?
I find trust quite an easy thing until someone breaks it. I find I trust people until I have a reason to not trust them. So trust is an easy thing for me. I'd say okay. 100%.
So the best day at Poached?
Best day, probably opening the second store, I'd say. That was a good day.
Why?
Because
of a sense of achievement?
Yeah, sense of achievement. I was only 25 when I opened the second shop. So it's just, I felt like it was so much stress going into it, and then we finally opened and we were busy from day one, so it's like, it was lovely. I've still got the videos of day one walking through, and it's packed. We had the garden open, we had the front open, and it was packed. So we had probably 40 customers in for day one. Food was probably very much delayed because we didn't have that sort of, it was our test day, but I don't think people minded, so.
What's is there, and if there is one, what is it? The end goal for Poached and Flow? Where is the
end
pinnacle
goal.
for Luke?
I don't think there is one. That's what, because I feel like I want to get to this stage, and then when I get to that stage, I'm like, no, now I want to open more sites. In my head, it's always been Poached to get to 10 sites.
Okay.
That's always been the plan.
So it's like 6 months from now, probably.
Maybe.
We're almost there, really.
But for Flow, we basically, our plan is to have sites all across London serving specialty coffee, great coffee all across London. Whereas Poached is more, we don't have a plan for that. We just want to be in as many areas as possible, I'd say. That's the.
So I know you shouldn't have a favourite child, but which one is the favourite? Really? Which one?
So I am from Beckenham. I live in Beckenham, and I go to Beckenham most days because my flat is 2 minutes from Beckenham. So potentially it is my first one. So it could be, I reckon it is.
Will you, so say somebody rolls in and just loves Poached and gives you, 5 million investment, and Poached has taken over the UK, would you keep Beckenham?
That is a good question. I would probably have to, because
just as a museum.
I'll tell you why. Because, I think I would have to, not because out of choice, but Poached, Beckenham and my dad's shop are actually connected, and they share the same toilet.
Oh, there you have
so
to.
it'd be difficult. It'd be difficult to sell it off. Dad might not be.
Unless you sell together with a shoe store. I mean.
Yeah, that's it. But I would probably.
So, is there any other businesses brewing in the head of Luke?
I've got 2 businesses. My girlfriend goes mad at me for this because I've got I've been so stressed lately, and then telling everyone how stressed I am.
Not enough gym.
Friday night I sent her a voice note at 10 p.m. I think I'm going to create this new business. I've got this idea. Sent her a voice note, and she just
blocked your number.
Stop! I'm not doing it. So I've got 2 other business ideas, but I won't say what they are just yet. But I do.
Damn it! Maybe get that off camera. We'll get that off camera. Perfect. Well, I suppose it's always incredible to know that you're one of those people that it's impossible not to listen to, and I think this is where you're going to be successful, even if you open, a balloon shop around the corner. Coming up next, Cities Dulwich. Listen, parties are back in.
Yeah,
COVID is over.
True. It's very true.
COVID is over. What would you like to tell our viewers about Poached? As outside come in and try the food before they fire another chef.
I don't know. I don't even know.
No.
You have to give me a couple of minutes to think about that one. Okay. What would you
We'll play commercials in the meantime. We're big like that.
I don't know. Don't have an answer to that one, to be honest.
That's fair. Come in and figure it out for yourself.
That's it. Come and try.
And leave a great review.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Oh, actually, that's the last question I want to ask. Because it's easy for us, we run coffee. I mean, the coffee, we specialize in it. It's kind of like, it's very hard to mess it up for us because it is our core product. It's our only product, really. For you guys, obviously, because you're pulling so many strings. Is it fair to say that the food side of things is also the one where you get the most issues with customer 100%. Feedback and reviews?
Yeah. Food side of things is very, very difficult. Very difficult because it's not just staff training. You've got to have all your kitchens up to a standard. You've got to have all the paperwork for them. Every staff member that works in the kitchen has to have hygiene certificate. And customers judge you on the food. And you have to have the food operating 7 days a week. You have to do all the prep. Coffee, there's no prep to it.
No,
you can literally come in and make a coffee. So, 100%. Food is where you get all the issues from. So anyone thinking of opening a food business, don't do it.
And if you're 22, you listen to it and you think to yourself, I'd love to have a brunch place now. Coffee shop is the way to go.
So many grey hairs at a young age of 28, but yeah.
That is fair. And actually, maybe that's a nice way to finish. And anyone who listens and wants to and is inspired by what you say, because I'm sure there's going to be a few people, the single greatest tip you can give them before starting their own business, whatever the business is.
Just do it. Just jump in the deep end and teach yourself on the job, I'd say. That's my biggest tip. That's what I always do.
And what not to do?
What not to do? Open a food business. Open in another industry.
I think there's going to have to be a title of this episode. Do not open a food business.
What not to do? I wouldn't say there's anything not to do as such, to be honest with you. It's all a learning curve. Everyone's going to make mistakes. I make mistakes on a daily basis now. It's just learning to deal with the fact that that's going to happen. It's part of the process.
Whatever you do, that's going to happen.
It.
Thank you very much, Luke.
No worries,
thank you. It was a pleasure. For those of you who don't know that, and we might need to edit that was Luke's first ever interview.
Yeah.
And before he blows up, becomes a multi-millionaire and
probably not too great, but
won't reply to our messages anymore. Thank you so much for your time.
No worries, thank you.